The Somme is a river in Picardy, northern France. The name Somme comes from a Celtic word meaning tranquility. The department Somme was named after this river. The river is 245 kilometers long, from its source in the high ground of the former forest of Arouez at Font-Sommets near Saint-Quentin, to the Bay of the Somme, in the English Channel. It lies in the geological syncline which also forms the Solent. This gives it a fairly constant and gentle gradient where several fluvial terraces have been identified. Historical events. The invasion fleet of William the Conqueror assembled in the Bay of the Somme at Saint-Valery-sur-Somme in 1066. The river featured in the 1346 withdrawal of Edward III's army, which forded the river at the Battle of Blanchette-Arc during the campaign which culminated in the Battle of Creux-Cy. Crossing the river also featured prominently in the campaign which led to the Battle of Agincourt in 1415. The river is perhaps most famous for the World War I Battle of the Somme from July to November 1916. The great battles which finally stopped the German advance in the spring offensive of 1918 were fought around the valley of the Somme in places like Villers-Bretonneux, which marked the beginning of the end of the war. Départements and towns along the river: Ain, Saint-Quentin, Somme, Ham, Péronne, Corbie, Amiens, Abbeville, Saint-Valery-sur-Somme, Le Crotoy. Main tributaries. Hydrology. The river is characterized by a very gentle gradient and a steady flow. The valley is more or less steep-sided, but its bottom is flat with fens and pools. These characteristics of steady flow and flooded valley bottom arise from the rivers being fed by the groundwater in the chalk basin in which it lies. At earlier, colder times, from the Gunns to the Wurm, the river has cut down into the Cretaceous geology to a level below the modern water table. The valley bottom has now therefore filled with water which, in turn, has filled with fen. This picture of the source of the Somme in 1986 shows it when the water table had fallen below the surface of the chalk in which the aquifer lies. Here, the flow of water had been sufficient to keep fen from forming. This satellite photograph shows the Fenny Valley crossing the chalk to the sea on the left. The sinuous length at the center of the picture lies downstream from Péronne. One of the fens, the Marais de la Lie, is a nature reserve in the town of Saint-Quentin. The traditional market gardens of Amiens, the hortolinages, are on this sort of land but drained, once exploited for peat cutting. The fen is now used for fishing and shooting. The construction of the Canal de la Somme began in 1770 and reached completion in 1843. It is 156 kilometers long, beginning at Saint-Simon and opening into the Bay of the Somme. From Saint-Simon to Froissy, the canal is alongside the river. Thence to the sea, the river is partly river and partly navigation. From Abbeville, it is diverted through the silted, former estuary, to Saint-Valery-sur-Somme, where the Maritime Canal, once called the Canal du Duc d'Angoulême, enters the English Channel. The Saint-Quentin Canal, famous for the 1918 battle, links the Somme to northern France and Belgium and southward to the Oise. The Canal du Nord also links the Somme to the Oise, at Noyon, thence to Paris. In 2001, the Somme Valley was affected by particularly high floods, which were in large part due to a rise in the water table of the surrounding land. Flow rate data: monthly flow rate, catchment area 5,560 square kilometers. At Abbeville, flow rates at Hangest-sur-Somme. Daily flow rates compared with mean rates for the time of year at Hangest-sur-Somme. Catchment area 4,835 square kilometers. For the year, 1,993.1994. 1995, 1996, 1997, 1998, 1999, 2000.2001, 2000, 2.2003, 2004.2005. Flow rates at Péronne. Mean flow rates monthly and daily at Péronne. Catchment area 1,294 square kilometers. For the year 1986, 1987.1988, 1989.1990, 1991.1992, 1993.1994, 1995, 1996.1997, 1998.1999, 2000.2001, 2000, 2.2003, 2004.2005.